Mark's got to eat.
Well, hi there. It is a great day for a great day. Actually, a little overcast and drizzly here, but we're having fun just the same. We're going to start the day off with a little bit of a hint. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? And I want to give a shout out to Devin for suggesting this restaurant. Thank you, Devin. If you haven't figured out where we're going yet, just sit back, relax. You'll find out shortly. So we're driving through the Georgia Tech campus here en route. It's like all big cities. It's hard, traffic-wise sometimes, to figure out exactly how to get where you're going. Ooh, for instance, could have taken him out pretty quickly there. Got the stadium coming up on the right here. There's the Zeta Beta Tata house. Ah, nature still abounds even in the midst of the concrete jungle. Take a look. This wasn't here when they opened. Do you know where we are? We're at the V in downtown Atlanta. The V for Varsity. Let's go inside. We're here. Check out all the steps in here. More steps. Check out the menu, of course. Hey, we're gonna do a number one and some chopped onions on the side, peach pie.
Fries or rings?
Rings. Varsity orange, and also a small frosted orange. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, hope you're hungry. So while we're waiting on my order, I wanted to show you they've got a little Varsity store here. Check that out. Notice the cans of chili. And I've got a little store of my own coming soon. All right. More steps. More steps. All right, so let me show you what I got. All right, I like a little extra mustard. I've been hit, cover me, I'm going in. There we are. Awesome. Done with the mustard. All right, and then got to do the chopped onions.
Or as I like to say, chunions.
Chunions. Oh my goodness, this place brings back so many memories. It's unbelievable. The first time I came here, I was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8. And we came outside to this, what used to be the drive-in. They closed this in 2021, I guess, after COVID. But all the car hops were working full tilt. At one time, they had about, I don't know, I want to say maybe 130, 140 car hops working here at once. And in fact, the word car hop kind of coined from this instance, because when you pulled in, they would jump up on your running board and guide you into the parking space, and they'd be taking your order while they were parking you. So they got the nickname car hops. Gonna go in and hit my drink with a straw here. If you didn't know, there's a whole page of lingo for everything here, but this is an FO. Actually, let me get a spoon here going for you. So the FO is a frosted orange, which is like a ice cream, soft serve ice cream. Ooh, like vanilla with a hint of orange. Never tasted it anywhere but here. I'm sure there's similar things elsewhere, but that's an FO. This is called a Varsity orange, and it's their own orange drink formulated, and it's like an orange drink. So don't get them confused. This is a whole lot better at quenching thirst. This is more like a dessert, but there's nothing quite like an FO. This is a small, by the way. And for the special treat today, I'm gonna go on and say, you know what? I'm gonna do that. These we'll have available when we hit 1,000 subscribers. Help us out, like this thing, like this video. We'd appreciate it greatly. Now, how about a first bite? Wow. That is a good hot dog. My dad used to say, nobody makes hot dogs like here, they're the best. So just to taunt him, I would get other hot dogs from other places, say, hey Dad, got your hot dog. They don't make them like the V. Did you ever torment your dad? He was pretty good natured about it, but he loved this place. The onion rings here are definitely made from real onions, and in fact, when I was little, that was another memory. Walking in, there was a table and just piled high with onions. I mean piled high with onions cut, waiting to be either chopped for the hot dogs or turned into onion rings. They serve a lot of food in one day here. So back in the mid-1920s, Frank Gordy Jr. had gone to school at Reinhardt, finished up there, and then he went over to Georgia Tech, and he dropped out. And he took his life savings at the time, his nest egg, which was about $1,850, something like that, under $2,000. And he rented space here to open a hot dog stand. 6 seats inside and a walk-up window. And it was successful from day one, but he wasn't without his struggles. When this thing first opened up, North Avenue was North Avenue, and he had parking. I-75 and I-85 were not here. They came in the mid-1950s, and they took his parking lots, so he had to build a parking deck, and on and on and on. But the thing is, when he was pressed to come up with a solution, he did, because like necessity is the mother of invention, right? The secret to the success, in addition to tenacity and creativity, is keeping it simple. It's the chili. The chili dogs stand out from other chili dogs. I think like 5 presidents have eaten here, a lot of movie stars. Everybody that's anybody has been here. Have you been here? I think these are the best onion rings I've ever had. I really do. They're large, they're good, the crust is good. Maybe a little oily, but not, it's fresh oil, so, you know, not like they've been frying it for years. By the way, health rating of 100 A+. So like on game day, they serve like 30,000 people. And that's when they have huge things across the street at Tech, or where they got football games going with the Falcons, or any events. You know, when the Olympics were here, same thing, constantly busy. But the car hops had to figure out a way to get people's attention so they get better tips. The best known one here was a guy called Flossie May. And Flossie May used to do things like dress funny or wear hats. And he was so famous, Minnie Pearl sent him a hat to wear, and he wore it all the time. But he would sing the menu. And I remember when we first pulled in, when I was 7 or 8 years old, the first time we were in the car hop lane, I heard him. He wasn't waiting on us, but he was singing. And I asked my dad, I said, what is that? And he said, that is Flossie May. He worked here many, many, many years, very famous. Another one you might remember is Nipsey Russell, great comedian. I think he was only here about 4 years, but he practiced his material and, you know, it was just great training ground for him. And when the car hops were really hopping, the good ones made like $12,000 a year, which back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, that was a lot of money. There was another guy that was like a lifelong varsity guy, Irby Walker was his name. He was a character. He didn't wear a hat like Flossie made, and he didn't sing the menu, but he had a rhythm to everything he did. He would say, have your cash in hand, your order in mind, and we'll get you to the game on time. It was all about speed. The other thing they did for speed was you could only order certain things in each line. Like in this line, you could not order ice cream or dessert. You could only order hot dogs and a drink. And then in this line, you could only order certain things. Well, they carried this through. Everything they did was all about speed. So with all the success of the Varsity, they started opening additional locations. They opened, shortly after this one opened, actually, they opened one in Athens, and I think it's been closed and rebuilt. We've gone through a lot of iterations, but they did build one here called the Varsity Junior. One day I'm over there, I'm over in that side of town, and I think I'm gonna get a hot dog. So it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, not real crowded. In fact, not crowded at all. And I walk up to the register. There's only like one guy at the counter. In fact, I'm thinking, why is it so slow? This young lad walks up, as expected, true to form. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? But he's not looking at me, of course, no direct eye contact. I said, I'll have 2 hot dogs with chopped onions on the side, varsity orange, and a peach pie. And he said, he's punching it in, he says, you can't order the peach pie from this line. So I look across all the registers, there's no one. There are like 7 registers. There's no one. I said, but I want a peach pie. And he said, yeah, but you can't order it from this line. And then I thought, well, okay, maybe it's not on the register. Maybe he can't punch the peach pie button. So I said, where could I order it? He said, you can order it over there, that line. So we looked at each other, and then we both moved over to a whole nother register. This is a true story. So I moved to the other line, he moves over, and what does he say? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? I said, how about a peach pie? He said, 1 peach pie. And I paid for the hot dog and the drink over here and the peach pie in the other register. And I've never forgotten that. It was quite a moment etched in my mind. He did kind of smile at me after he said, what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? When I smiled at him and he smiled like, yeah, I know. You want a peach pie, but I have to say that. You never saw a kerfuffle like when somebody tried to order ice cream in the hot dog line downtown on a game day. No kidding, they would have lines. You'd think 75, 85 traffic backs up. That's what it was like in here, and somebody trying to get an ice cream in the emergency lane, so to speak. By the way, in the car, felt like I was yelling, what do you have, what do you have, what do you have? It felt like it to me. The reality is they yell it pretty loud here when you come in because they gotta be heard over the crowd that's there to buy food. And it is noisy, noisy, noisy. So they do kind of yell it, always. Of course, trying to keep everything clean, they've got tile all over the floors, and the counters and surfaces are smooth, pretty much. So there's a lot of echo. It's loud on game day. Another thing that they've done here, they've canned the chili. So I told you my dad loves this place. We had a family Christmas gift swap. You know, what they call a white elephant swap or whatever. You can't do anything over $5. I brought a can of chili as a joke. I mean, it's good, I like it. I buy a can of chili, but I brought it to the Christmas gift swap. My dad's eyes lit up, and he must have snatched that thing back from people 2 or 3 times after we raised the limit. Like, okay, you can keep snatching it, and people would take it away from him, just to toy with him. And then he would snatch it back whenever he got a chance. I think my brother wound up with it, but he gave it to my dad after it was all said and done. My dad was happy. Uh-oh. I have a graduate degree, but this is how I eat. I bet Joey Chestnut could eat 100 of these. Worth the wait. Peach pie. Check that out. It's good. Really good. My wife's mother-in-law used to make apple fritters.
Your mom.
No.
Your wife's mother-in-law would be your mom.
I am my own nephew.
Oh.
They used to keep letters that they would get from people. Sometimes there were checks on the wall that bounced. You knew if you bounced a check here, you were going to be publicly identified. They got very few bounce checks as a result of that. But they had letters that they got from people from far away talking about how they missed the V. One of them that I remember, again, reading it because I thought, did they make this up? And they didn't. It was real. It's from the state penitentiary, and this guy said that he couldn't wait. When he got out, he didn't want a T-bone steak. He wanted a V naked dog or a chili dog or whatever. But this place has a lot of memories associated with it. Y'all, that's going to do it for me today. I want to remind you, we've enjoyed all of this because Frank Gordy Jr. didn't give up when he was a young man and dropped out of school. I hope it'll encourage you to keep going too. And remember this, life is short. Enjoy every meal.